That's a $200,000 car, man. You want to tell me whose keys you're holding? Registration says out of state. You sure this is yours?
I already told you, it's mine.
You understand why that sounds a little unlikely?
Sounds like a problem you got, not me.
All right, go ahead and turn around for me. Put your hands behind your back.
Seriously?
Let's go, turn around.
For Officer Ray Solder, something didn't make sense. A young black man in sweatpants standing next to a $200,000 Ferrari automatically equaled a crime in his mind. He was so convinced of his assumption that he didn't just ask questions, he slapped on handcuffs. But he was about to realize that bias is a terrible guide, and his own body camera was recording a moment that would end his career. What you just witnessed was racial profiling at its purest, an officer who refused to believe what he was seeing. You saw the confrontation. Now we'll share the full story and reveal the exact moment his arrogance clashed with the simple truth of vehicle registration. If you think success shouldn't be treated like a crime, hit subscribe and share in the comments what you would do if a cop questioned your car. Let's rewind to where this began. Not at a gas station in Florida, but in a small Detroit apartment 15 years earlier, where a 19-year-old named Marcus Cole sat at a worn desk teaching himself to code by the flickering glow of a laptop. Marcus grew up in a neighborhood where dreams were rare, sirens were louder than birds, and the only successful people anyone knew were those who had left and never returned. Marcus had a different goal. He didn't just want to escape, he wanted to create. He worked night shifts at a warehouse for 2 years. His hands moved automatically as he sorted packages while his mind solved problems in Python and JavaScript. He slept 4 hours a night or less, fueled by cheap coffee and the belief that if he worked hard enough, smart enough, and relentlessly enough, he could shape a life completely different from the one he was born into. By 23, he launched his first app, a scheduling tool for hourly workers solving a problem he'd faced personally. It wasn't a billion-dollar idea, but it was solid, useful, and profitable. He sold it 2 years later, enough to dream bigger. His next venture was in fintech, helping gig workers access earnings immediately instead of waiting for payday. That company took off. Within 3 years, Marcus went from warehouse nights to self-made millionaire. His company was bought by a larger platform, making tech blogs and bank accounts alike take notice. Sometimes he still had to double-check reality. At 34, Marcus Cole was the kind of American dream story everyone claimed to celebrate. A kid who overcame odds through skill and relentless effort. He invested, advised startups, and built wealth not just for himself, but for his community, setting up scholarships and mentorship programs because he remembered coding alone in the dark with no one to guide him. And yes, he bought a Ferrari. A red F8 Tributo with a 710 horsepower V8 engine, a car that would have seemed impossible to the 19-year-old version of him. It wasn't just about showing off, though he'd lie if he said he didn't enjoy it. It was about owning something beautiful, a symbol of achievement, proof that every time he turned the key, he'd made it. That late April day, Marcus drove his Ferrari from Atlanta to Miami, taking the scenic Florida coast because he could, with no meetings or deadlines. The drive was perfect. Windows down, warm air rushing in, engine growling along with his playlist. A scene straight out of a movie. He wore comfortable clothes. White t-shirt, gray sweatpants, sneakers. His short locks and simple gold chain from his mother completed the look of a man on a casual road trip.
Around 2 p.m., he stopped at a small-town gas station. 3 pumps, a faded convenience store, locals greeting each other by name. Florida sunlight blazed, making everything look sharp and surreal. Marcus pulled up, Ferrari glinting like liquid fire, and began pumping gas. He didn't notice the patrol car across the street or Officer Ray Solder watching him with narrowed eyes, a calculating stare judging everything. Solder had been finishing his coffee when the Ferrari arrived, instantly focused on it. Not because the car or its owner were suspicious, but because Solder's mind couldn't process a young black man in sweatpants with a $250,000 car. Ray Solder, 43, had 18 years on the force, most in a small town where crime usually meant traffic stops or the occasional domestic dispute. He joined with claimed intentions to serve and protect, but over the years, assumptions hardened into bias. He never called it racism, would bristle at the suggestion, insisting he judged by actions, not skin color. But his record told another story. whose cars he pulled over, whose IDs he demanded, whose stories he believed. To Solder, seeing Marcus at that pump didn't compute. Wrong person, wrong car, probable theft. Out-of-state plates only reinforced his certainty. He called dispatch to run the registration. When the initial report came back clean but linked to a California address, his suspicion became conviction. A kid in sweatpants didn't own a car like that. Clearly it had been stolen. Soldier switched on his body cam, pulled the patrol car forward, and parked behind the Ferrari, blocking it in. The camera captured everything from his view: the bright red car, shiny chrome, California plates, and Marcus still capping the tank, unaware he was about to be accused of stealing his own property. Marcus noticed the patrol car and felt the tightening in his chest familiar to every Black American in moments like this, a mental recalculation of tone, posture, and survival. He had done nothing wrong, yet knew innocence alone didn't guarantee safety. Solder stepped out, body cam rolling. "That's a $200,000 car, man," he said, accusatory.
I already told you it's mine, Marcus said calmly, steady, non-aggressive. Solder didn't like it. Innocent people, in his mind, stammered. Composure seemed guilty. Marcus's calm only proved his crime. Marcus channeled rising anger into cold clarity. "Sounds like a problem you got, not me." Perfectly stated, factual, no words that could be twisted. Marcus had the keys, registration, insurance. Everything proved his ownership. Solder's disbelief was his own problem. "All right, turn around for me," Solder said, reaching for handcuffs. Marcus felt it like a physical blow. Arrested for owning a car? For existing while Black in a Ferrari? "Seriously?" he asked, voice heavy with disbelief. "Seriously? This is where we are?" He complied, hands moving behind his back deliberately, signaling no threat. The handcuffs clicked. Solder patted him down. Wallet, phone, car keys. Nothing illegal, nothing suspicious. Only a man on a road trip. Onlookers stared. Marcus felt centuries of history in that moment, but also certainty. He knew how it would end. Registration would prove him right. Solder returned to his car, called dispatch, read the VIN. 30 seconds later, the car registered to Marcus Cole. License matched, California address matched, everything legal. Solder froze, calculations crashing in his mind. He had handcuffed an innocent man based on assumptions, all recorded on body cam. "All right, we're good here," Solder muttered, removing handcuffs. Marcus rubbed his wrists, quiet, exhausted. "Yeah," he said. "I understand what you were checking. Can I go now?" Solder nodded, retreating. Marcus retrieved his phone, documented everything. Officer badge number, scene, unlawful detention, racial profiling. 3 days later, he filed a formal complaint with detailed statements and requested body cam footage. Internal Affairs investigated. The footage told the truth. Solder had detained a citizen with zero evidence based purely on appearance. The 6-week investigation revealed a pattern: multiple stops of minority drivers,